before Cage died, and if somebody talked to me about grief, I don't think I comprehended how it could physically affect a person.
Wanna be free of this heart, yeah. Wanna feel your arms around me. I need you more, need you here, more than I would like to admit. Let's forget about tomorrow, yeah. Should I hide away forever? Should I close my eyes and never again hold you tight, call you mine, think about you every time? I remember that it's over, yeah. You never break, you never lie, you never ever scared of the dark. So why am I the one who cries? I'm so afraid to be left behind. I think about you a lot. It's almost like I can't stop, yeah. You never lose an argument, so I've been trying hard to pretend that I'm okay. It's just a phase, and everything is going just great. I think about you a lot. It's almost like I can't stop, yeah.
All right, hot stuff. Have a great night. I love you. Sleep tight.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk about how grief has affected me physically. It can affect everybody way different. If you follow any grief page, you can get a feel for how differently it affects everybody. But I wanted to share my experience because before Cage died, and if somebody talked to me about grief, I don't think I comprehended how it could physically affect a person. You know, I knew it probably was a very mental and emotional thing that was really hard, but I had no idea all the physical side effects. And so I just wanted to share some of the things that I have noticed over the last 9.5 months. And perhaps it could be of a help, like when you're thinking of someone that you know who's going through some traumatic experience. Maybe it might give you an idea of things that you could possibly do to best support them. That being said, I made myself a little list that's over here, if I can find it. I'm just gonna read it. Okay, so the first thing when dealing with grief that I noticed that still affects me is I forget to eat. And I still forget to eat. Almost 9 months out, I am like I will wake up in the mornings and I feel like I've lost my appetite, just period. I can tell I'm hungry based on my mood and my energy level, but I don't get hungry like I used to. And I wonder if it does tie back to the day that Cage died. I was so distraught, and people are asking how they could help me, and one of my sisters was so kind, and I said, I'm hungry. She's like, well, what do you want? What will you eat? I said oatmeal, because I eat oatmeal every morning. And she made oatmeal, and she put berries in it and peanut butter, and just it was the best looking oatmeal I've ever seen. But she came and placed it in front of me on a piano bench, and I remember just looking at it, and I never ate one bite of it because I was so sick to my stomach, physically sick to my stomach. I just couldn't even think of eating. In fact, the whole first week, every time I flew out to Dover to go watch his body come back and everything, and they're super awesome there, and they'll put you in this house. I forgot what the house is called. I'll look it up. and you know, they're feeding you and different things, and I just remember people telling me like, Hannah, you have to eat. And I'd be like, okay, and like I knew I had to eat, so I would try to eat, but it was just like, for me, that's been a challenge, and I feel like I'm still reaping the repercussions of it. But yeah, like not being able to eat is a real thing. So the second one I wrote down is being dehydrated. This is something, if you cry a lot, which I became a mega crier with Cage dying. I don't cry so much around other people, but when I'm by myself and I just like thinking about him, like all the tears. Because of that, you get really dehydrated. And having swam in college, first year at BYU and then down at Dixie State University in Southern Utah, like I'm used to drinking a lot of water, but like you have to drink a lot more water and you're crying all the time. Third one is skin problems. So this didn't show up till about 2 months after Cage had passed away, and I have relatively like good genetics when it comes to like skin, I guess. And so I mean, I do have allergies, so I have gotten rashes because of allergies, and I do have like asthma, stuff like that. But when like 2 or 3 months after Cage died, I like got just this like red bumps all over my face, and they weren't acne. They remind me of a rash of some sort, but they got them over my face and my arms and my body. Like my body was just, I think, didn't know how to handle the stress. And so I should have gone to a dermatologist, but that leads into my next point of being so exhausted. Like I had no energy to do anything. I've heard of the opposite happening, like having like a lot of energy. But for me, it complete like absolutely no energy. I have swam in college for 4 years, and I know what it's like to be dead stinking tired, but dealing with grief topped all of that. So yeah, having zero energy makes it really hard to do anything. So I purposely, because of this symptom, purposely took an entire year off of school, because I was like, there's no way I can go to class and take tests and be a good student in the like state that I'm in. And luckily I had the opportunity, like I could afford to do that. And if not, you know, heaven probably would have helped me some way to be able to go to school. But anyway, extreme tiredness was the thing that hit me. Okay, this other two kind of go together. So I wrote down my sleep schedule, and I wake up like I wake up all of a sudden at night. I think it's a little bit of PTSD, and this one has tapered off for me quite a bit because I have like a routine, but when I go to bed now, that like I feel like I can relax and let my body finally get to sleep and recover. But near the beginning, like the week that Cage died, he died Monday. I flew out to Dover to pick up his body, flew back on Friday, and I didn't sleep at all the first night that he died, passed away. And from Monday to Friday, I think I had 9 hours of sleep total. So I was just running on fumes. And it's just because you're so overcome with so much like deep emotion that, yeah, it's just crazy. But then even as the months go on and things kind of like settle down and people seem to move on, sleep was still a hard one for me, because if I used to stay up till 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. because Cage would get up at 5 a.m. over in England, and if I stayed up long enough I could text him good morning. And so, but now if I don't go to bed before 10 p.m., sometimes I have trouble going to sleep because I tend to get more anxious the more I'm awake. And then also with that is, as I'm falling asleep, I like wake up all of a sudden. Like I always wake up at least once a night, and it's just like this feeling of urgency, I feel like, and I think it has to do a little bit with Cage. But like I said, that one has gotten better for me. So, but another one is getting up in the mornings is super hard, but that goes with sleep schedule. Because in the mornings, the first thing on my mind every morning is Cage. And it was just, I remember I woke up one morning and I was like, you know what insanity is? I was just mumbling out loud to myself. I was like, insanity is not knowing where Cage is and what he's doing. Even though I know where he is, like, because of my faith, I know that he still exists, and he is, I call it the other side of the veil, and I know that he's still very much involved in my life. But to have like that communication cut off that we had while he was physically here, it drove me nuts in a lot of ways, but I'm starting to handle that better now. And then the last thing I want to talk about was like I said, when he first died, when I finally got the news. I mean, the first call that I got said Cage's plane went down. He is missing in action. That was like a punch to the gut. But when we finally heard we found an undeployed parachute, your husband is presumably dead. And then, sorry, you guys get the tears today. And then, just like when it finally sunk in that like, no, he's gone. My heart literally hurt. Like it was a physical thing. And I remember thinking like, wow, I might die. I might die just because of how my body was reacting. But I do remember that night, I am a religious person, and I knelt down to pray. And that was the first time that like the pressure around my heart released. And I just remember being like, Father, I don't want to get up from my knees. I don't want to get up from my knees because like this is so hard, and like my heart hurt. I did get up from my knees and I got into bed, and that night it was just like roller coasters of like roller coaster / waves of grief. And when it would come over me, it would like my chest would seize up and my heart would hurt, and I would just cry like heart, like just cry, like my whole body crying. And so I didn't comprehend that physical toll, but that one eased up. I would say there was still moments and months later where like those hard cries would still come. But now I'm finally, I shouldn't say finally, I don't know. There's no linear process to grief. But now most of the time when I cry, it's not the whole body crying. It's just because I cry because I miss him. But anyway, hope this is somewhat helpful. Use it how you want. You can like, share, tell other people to watch it. Like I said, this is just my experience. Everybody's experience is different. There's a lot of grief pages I follow that have been very helpful. And so, yeah, but hope you all have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you later.